Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Look, man, the drama they've been talking about in Dallas is real. It's there obviously something going on between Derrick James and Errol Spence. I personally think Derrick James has too many pokers in the fire. I think he's trying to juggle too many balls. And as a result, I think his stress level is off the charts. And Ryan Garcia and the big drama show that's going on with him and Devin Haney and Bill Haney, that's definitely not helping Derrick James and his stress level, and probably not making it easy for him to want to tolerate much of anything at the moment. But the bottom line is he did touch base a little bit on him and Errol Spence going separate ways, and I was a little disappointed to hear that. But everybody has an interview. But he touched base on Errol Spence going down 3 times and getting stopped in the 9th by Terrence Crawford. And he says, now this is my thing, right? I want to make sure that I get this out there. I don't know. Derrick James isn't going to just open up and share with us all the things Errol Spence may not have done right. He's not going to share with us all the things he knows that probably handicapped Errol Spence going into the Terrence Crawford fight. He's not going to tell us that. I personally think there's some things that have been happening for years that Derrick James didn't agree with. Remember, he's a former fighter. And Errol Spence maybe was too comfortable with him, kind of like Brandon Rios and Robert Garcia. Too close to him and didn't listen. And I just think it's more than just what people are saying. It's a money thing. But anyway, he did say that he talked to Errol Spence, about 3-4 weeks ago. And he says, you can't look back. You can't look forward and look back at the same time. And he talked about how he's just focused on his guys. Now, when a person says that, since we're having a conversation, it's cool to assume, it's cool to speculate, it's cool to predict. But when I have someone saying, I can't look forward and back at the same time, that tells me that there's something that hasn't been resolved, but it's like, you know what? I can't resolve this on my own. And if the other party doesn't want to help to resolve it, well, I got to just cut my ties and move on. Now, we can revisit this if they want to come together and fix the issue. However, if that's something that's going to be solely on me, then, I don't have time to put any more energy into it. And that's just how I took it. You know what I'm saying? And for me, it's a little bit concerning because I just don't think Errol Spence will do very well if he has to find another trainer and he wants to continue boxing, unless he's with the only person I think, because I think Errol Spence needs to be with somebody who has more of a who can really understand a Mexican style of fighting. Because Errol Spence, yeah, he can box, but that's not really what he looks to do in the ring. And somebody mentioned in the comments Robert Garcia. I truly believe Robert Garcia would be a good fit for Errol Spence. But at the same time, how comfortable would Errol Spence be? You know what I mean? And that's what we talk about in some of the videos, the importance of, culture and being comfortable. Anthony Joshua was there with Derrick James in Dallas. But culturally, it didn't work because Anthony Joshua from the UK. So there were some things that, yeah, you learn about and you start to enjoy yourself somewhat, but it's not like being at home. And I think with Errol Spence, just being with Derrick James and both of them from Dallas, there's a certain, and being, black, there's a certain, I think, comfort level there. But to go there, Robert Garcia, where it's strictly business and pretty much, Viva Mexico, I'm just not so sure the level of comfort he had in Dallas with Derrick James, he could achieve that with Robert Garcia. But the bottom line is this, man. He was asked if he expects Spence to fight again following that loss of Terrence Crawford, of course. And what James said was mentally, I guess he's okay. I believe when you participate in your biggest fight and lose, when the song starts playing, you got to dance or start putting that chair up. And that tells me that it sounds like there's a bit of indecisiveness on Errol Spence's part as far as what he wants to do. Now, in this article, it talks about how he appeared to reference the faded versions of two great fighters, Sugar Ray Leonard and Muhammad Ali. Even though they still wanted it, but retirement was upon those guys. And it showed that they shouldn't have continued fighting. But James said when it comes to Spence, if he's healthy and everything's good with him, he can keep doing what he's doing. Now, that's the thing about James. He's like always talking in code. You know what I'm saying? But he did admit that he's not involved in discussions for Spence's next fight. But this is my thing. I wouldn't expect Derrick James to be involved in any of the Errol Spence discussions, because Derrick James is always saying how I don't know anything about the fights, about negotiations. It's not my job. So this right here just lets you know Derrick James just ducks those questions because he doesn't want to get in the middle of it. But it sounds to me like he has an idea of what's going on with his fighters, if they're going to fight, who they're going to fight, the type of money they're going to make, especially since he's looking at what Errol Spence is making and what he received. So he says, if you're going to fight, the rematch is the fight to fight, he said. Finish that deal out. So sounds like he's still pushing for Errol Spence to go and fight Terrence Crawford. Now, you guys already know that Derrick James was named Trainer of the Year, but nobody really cares about that shit anymore. But the concern is that Errol Spence went down in flames, Jermell Charlo went down in flames, Anthony Joshua left him. Now he has Ryan Garcia and Frank Martin, who he's juggling at the same time. The concern is it may not be giving both of them the attention they need, and that both of them could end up going down in flames, because Ryan Garcia and Frank Martin are both underdogs against Devin Haney and Gervonta Davis. But, we just got to see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Derrick James and Ryan Garcia, whole bunch of drama going on there, and Ryan Garcia and his crazy-ass antics. But what I will tell you is Derrick James doesn't seem to give a damn about any fighter that doesn't want to listen to him. And if you have a fighter who doesn't want to listen and there's an issue with the money, Derrick James just seems to be a guy who's like, look, I don't need that. I don't need that stress. I don't need that BS. Get out of here. And you know what? I'm going to be honest. I understand that. It's like me. I'm a retired dude. I got opportunities to go out here and work, but I don't need to. You know what I'm saying? So if it's something that I feel is forced, or I don't like the opportunity, I turn it down. But I don't need to go out and do this shit. And it's nice when you have that luxury. Derrick James has that luxury as well. He doesn't need the drama. And like he said, if you don't want to get down, you can go. You're going to do what I want you to do. And, I understand that, especially me with my background. There's going to be some times where it's going to be very one-sided. The conversation, the expectation is going to be very directive in nature. Maybe not all the time, but him preparing for a fight is like me coming out of an aircraft maintenance group, and everything is about making sure there's no safety of flight issues and making sure aircraft are mission capable to go out there and perform the mission. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to that shit, hey, there is no discussion on that. That's something that, you're going to do, and you're going to make sure you do it correctly. If not, there's some severe consequences. And it sounds like the consequence for Errol Spence from the money, maybe not wanting to do what Derrick James wants him to do, is having to leave the gym. But hopefully they can reconcile, because this just adds to Errol Spence's story. But that being said, the Dallas drama is all the way real. Boy, oh boy. My thing is, what happens to Derrick James if Jermell leaves, Errol Spence leaves, Frank Martin and Ryan Garcia both lose and leave, and then you had AJ who left. He has nobody but some amateurs that he's working with. You know what I'm saying? But he already made his money. He was a pro boxer. did okay, but as a trainer, he had huge success and made a lot of money. So Derek James I don't think he really worries. He's like, shit, I'm more happy just working with these amateurs. There's too much drama with these pros and all the politics. So that may be what deep down he wants. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Y'all keep cool. Shout out to the veterans, all 7 continents. Make sure you don't take it to the stupid. I'm in the breeze.